Hey everybody, it's Richard here with EduData Consulting, and today I'd like to take you through a comprehensive walkthrough of my internal Google Workspace Manager add-on called Event Manager. Now, an internal Google Workspace add-on means it's not available directly in the Google Workspace Marketplace. Instead, this is something I would work directly with you and your school to install and deploy on your workspace domain. So the Event Manager is an end-to-end solution for managing event requests, from the request process to the approval process to email notifications to scheduling on calendars to adding resource calendars to creating Google Doc notes, attachments to events, and so on and so forth. So I think by illustrating what a sample workflow looks like for you will go a long way in demonstrating its capability. So here we go. I'm logged in as a teacher account in Google Workspace, and I've launched the Event Manager. And you'll notice right off the bat that it is multi-campus friendly. So if I have multiple campuses, I can choose which campus, and that is going to dictate which buildings are displaying as options to choose rooms from later. So let's go back to Campus 1. And let's say we are planning a band concert, an upper school band concert. So we'll just put in the name. And then the date that it's going to happen. Let's just do it on the 22nd since it's visible here on our calendar. This concert's going to take place at 7 p.m. And it's going to run about an hour and a half till 8:30 p.m. So I put in my name as the organizer, and we'll just call upper school as the department, and it's going to automatically populate my email address. I'm going to choose which building this concert is going to take place in to perform music for our families. And we're going to expect maybe 125 guests, and we'll hit continue. So as we build our request, we always have an opportunity to go back in the navigation if we need to change any of the data we've inputted, and it provides us with a summary of the details we've entered so far. So this question related to budget, this will only appear in an email to the person approving the event. It will not be shared in the description of the event or anywhere else that's visible to other stakeholders. If there's parking, I can elaborate on the parking logistics here. If this is an event that recurs, I could click yes here, and then a following screen would appear where I could then elaborate on the type of recurrence for that event. Is it a weekly event? Is it once a month? So on and so forth. There is no direct automation to create those specific events, but you can very simply duplicate the first event and then just add it to the dates that are indicated in the recurrence pattern. So this one does not recur, and we're going to have this concert in this multi-purpose room space, which, by the way, is also connected to a resource calendar. So again, here's my organizer info, and then I have an opportunity to add some additional support for this event. So I'm certainly going to need some tech support for all of the audio-visual pieces, probably some light refreshments for our families who are coming to watch our performers, and then we'll need some help setting up all of the chairs and whatnot. So we're going to select these three pieces of support, which are connected to email addresses of people who need to be in the know if an event requires their support. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And now I need to elaborate on specifics of those support options. So for IT, maybe I want some projection and project a snowman on the screen above the stage. All right, something like that. For catering, it's an evening event. We're not going to need any breakfast or anything, but just maybe some coffee and light snacks. And we want this to be set up and ready to go. Since we said it's going to start at 7 p.m., maybe by 5 p.m. we kind of want to have everything all ready to go. We need the risers and then chairs for, we'll say, 150 spectators. And now we just have to submit this for approval. So if you have multiple approvers in your school, maybe you're going to designate which division this would go to. In this instance, there's just the front office as the approver. And when you click submit, an event is added to the event request calendar. So we can see right here, this is the upper school band concert. And it's been added. But also, I, as the teacher, if I refresh my inbox, I'm going to get a return receipt saying that my event request has been successfully submitted for this band concert. So now let's explore where that request has gone. So I'm going to bring down a window of somebody who has approver access in this add-on. So let's just go ahead to their inbox, and they notice that a new event request submission has come through. They're asked to review the details. If any budget details were added, it would have been added right here along the top. And it's saying that I need to use the Event Manager add-on to approve or deny. Well, there's a couple of ways I can do it. I can do it first by clicking See Details here. And again, I can review all of the details of the event that I've indicated. And if I open up the Event Manager add-on, it's going to give me a couple of buttons where I can approve or deny this event. So again, a summary of what the event's all about. I can approve or deny. So I can do it that way. Or if I don't want to do it through clicking on this link, I can just go to the calendar directly. I can open the Event Manager, and I can just click on it, and again that same screen will appear here. Now these requests are going to be color-coded by campus, so it's easy to tell which campus pertains, or which requests pertain to which campus. So it's easier for multiple eyes to be watching it in that way. So let's go ahead and just approve this band concert. By doing that, the approval is going to invite the organizer to the event. It's also going to add the event to the main events calendar and delete the event from the request calendar. So if I just give this a refresh, we can see now that what was the request calendar it's no longer on the request because it is an actual event. And not only that, a Google document with notes has been attached to the event. More on that in a bit. So now once I've clicked approve, that set off a whole nother round of automation. So if I go back to the teacher's inbox who originally requested the event, there's a couple more emails in here. So one, I've got the calendar invite for the band concert. and I can see the space has also been booked. I got all the details of the event, so on and so forth. So I can accept that calendar invite, but then I get an email confirming that it's been approved along with the basic details of the event. And here's a link to that Google Doc template that can be designed in any way you like to sort of track the status of the preparations for such an event. So that is essentially the automation piece behind the event manager. A couple of other things to point out that are important. As an approver, you also have the ability to export events off of a calendar. So if I actually go back to the approver account, so notice down here, there are no export and settings buttons in the teacher account, but if I bring down an approver account and I open up the event manager, I will now see a couple of buttons here related to settings and export events. So the export events is a really nice feature for just getting a spreadsheet of data related to the events. So let's just choose Campus 1 as that's the one we want to look at. And we're going to start an export beginning on the 22nd. And we'll go up to the 26th. So maybe we are looking to get a snapshot during that week of events. So I simply need to click Export Events. This is going to generate a Google Sheet for me. And you can see all of the events that were scheduled during that time. So the day of the week, the date, the time, setup time, the name of the event, the description, if there's any recurrence, hyperlinks to any attachments, the locations of all the spaces being used, which department this is attached to, number of guests, who the organizer was, tech support instructions, facilities instructions, anything related with needed catering, if there's any cleaning or transportation required, parking, and then finally the email signature of the person who approved the event. So this is a very useful report to really explore some of the data behind your events. And the last thing I want to show for you is how the customization of this is possible via the settings tab. So the settings tab is nothing more than a Google Sheet where we've outlined your events calendars, their various IDs, along with your various room calendars and the resource emails for those resource calendars, and also destination email addresses for the support mechanisms. So you could, if you have a ticketing system for help desk that accepts tickets via email, you could simply put in that email address and that would generate a ticket in that ticketing system. So, and the same applies for all of these other options. Again, you can create a menu of items that are pre-selected for the catering, along with a menu of items for typical tech setups. And then for that document that is attached to your Google Calendar event, you could develop your own Google Doc template simply by placing its ID in this field right here, and that will be attached to any approved events. And then all of the buildings are laid out on the campus tabs. So essentially you can name your campuses, and then along the header row we would put all of the buildings, and then each building we would list all of the bookable rooms. So then one of the questions that also comes up is, well, if we have a lot of resource calendars, how do we quickly get a list of them? So I've included a script that can be copied and executed by the super admin in your domain, which will generate a list of all of your resource calendars in a Google Sheet, which makes it easy to copy and paste those items into the settings Google Sheet of Event Manager. So I know this was long, but I did want to give you a thorough sort of look at Event Manager. for you to consider if this might be something your school would be interested in. So thanks for watching. Bye.